Welcome into Locked On 76ers. Keith Pompey, Marc Farzetta, Nick Nurse, while he is participating in basketball without borders over in jolly old England, he commented on Joel Embiid and offered the latest health update on the 76ers big man and one-time MVP. I'll tell you why I don't think he read that ESPN article on Joel Embiid. We'll talk about all that and more in this edition of Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And we do thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode brought to you by FanDuel. Football season around the corner. Visit FanDuel.com or open the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now with FanDuel. Keith, I've gotten to a point where we're talking Sixers every day, where I just have the Google alerts and all that stuff, and I'll Google the 76ers myself just to see what pops up. And the first thing I saw was this mock trade of Joel Embiid, and I rolled my eyes, but I was like, all right, let's take a look. Click, they got me. And I open it up, and it's 76ers power forward Joel Embiid could possibly trade. I'm like, stop. I'm out. I'm out. You got me. Power forward? Are we even trying these days? Come on. I was out of that, and I was like, oh, wait, what's this story? Nick Nurse on Joel Embiid? When was this from, months ago? No, Keith, this is from yesterday, or maybe because it was in jolly old England or jolly old London. It was 2 days ago. He actually commented on the Joel Embiid situation. Keith, did you see this story yet?
Yeah, I saw it. I skimmed through it. I mean, I saw it actually last night. I mean, I saw the comment, and it was one of those things, if we're going to be honest, I was just like, okay. And because it's one of those things where, I guess we'll talk about it, and then we'll go over the comment, and then I'll give you my opinion on why I feel the way I do.
Fair enough. Here it is right here. Okay. As luck would have it, I have it right here. This is via Heavy Sports, but this is also from Talk Sport overseas, okay? This is Nick Nurse to Talk Sport. All the news is positive. And by the way, let me just set this. It was a one-on-one with a reporter at Basketball Without Borders, and it was about a 5-minute interview. They talk about Basketball Without Borders, and there's 2 questions about the Sixers. This is the one that people will care the most about. All the news is positive. This is Nick Nurse, quote, all the news is positive. I know he's working very, very hard, and I think things look good. Whether he's ready for training camp or not, I think there is maybe a lot more decisions than that to make before we get there. But our main thing is that he's healthy to play and play to his best capabilities because he's awesome. No doubt about that. That's Nick Nurse again to Talk Sport. I don't think you read that ESPN article where Joel Embiid just flat out said, I'm not rushing back for anybody. Now, Nick Nurse did question whether or not he'd be ready for the start of training camp, and I think that goes without saying. But as for the start of the season, that's really all I care about when it comes to Joel Embiid. What was your immediate takeaway when you saw the comment last night by Nick Nurse?
My takeaway was that Nick Nurse wanted to remain positive, but he wasn't going to give out any information that he knows. But he also gave himself some wiggle room to get out of stuff. For instance, we don't know if he's going to be at training camp or not, but we know that when he comes, they basically want him to be healthy because he knows that he's a dominant player, right? He also said that, the decision is they has to go through certain steps and certain stages before Joel Embiid is, able to play a lot more decisions. Now, what it really meant to say was we don't know when Joel's coming back, or we may have a little bit idea of when he's going to come back, but it's up to Joel. And I felt like when you come out and you say something the way that you did, you're basically, yes, you are addressing it, but you're not, you're addressing it in a manner to where you don't upset Joel. And Joel's like, oh, he's talking this way and talking that way. Because you got to remember, there was a point in time when Nick Nurse said certain things earlier in the season, and then all of a sudden he just shut down. And he shut down because he was giving up too much information. And next thing you know, the NBA ended up the Sixers got fined by the NBA, and then he just shut down completely. To me, it's kind of like the real answer would have been, we hope that Joel returns for training camp, but he hasn't told us yet. And we don't know. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. That's so I was going to ask you there. So the we don't know part of it is kind of what I get out of all this, because let's see. So far on Joel Embiid from the Sixers, all we really have is, and I'm not including players like Tyrese Maxey or anybody that spoke during Summer League. I'm talking about the front office or coaching staff. So Nick Nurse or Daryl Morey. All we have to this point is Daryl Morey twice saying that everything's looking good in the offseason for Joel Embiid. At one point, I know he definitely said at the draft, we expect Joel Embiid to be ready to go for training camp and all that. And it was like, damn, okay, well, that's optimistic. And then the article comes out where Joel Embiid's talking about how he's not rushing through anything in the offseason. And he's going to, he's done that in the past. That's been a mistake. He's not going to do it this time. And then Nick Nurse talks about all the news is positive. That news with Joel Embiid is not positive. That he's not going to rush back, that implies he's not going to be ready for training camp. He's probably not going to be ready for the start of the season. So I think he is trying to stay in line with what Daryl Morey is saying in terms of everything is status quo, but we're still not sure about camp. So here's my question. How much do you think Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse actually know about Joel Embiid's off-season regiment, if you can even call it that, to be as close to ready as soon as possible?
That's a great question, Mark, because I do think that they know enough, right? I do think it's weird. It's weird, though. I think that, let's just say if it was a doctor who the team, said, okay, we suggest that you go to this doctor, or Joel did it himself, then I think that they know enough up to a point, right? They don't know all the particulars because, it's not their doctor. However, I do think that they know that, okay, he went through this. This is the timeline. He may be able to do this and he may be able to do that. Kind of sort of like the last time, right? But you got to understand something. Typically you ask a player to come back at a certain point or at a certain time. I think the thing that they don't know is, how does Joel Embiid feel about when he's ready to come back? Because Joel's not coming back until he's ready to play. So even though you may say, like if someone tears their ACL, I'm not saying he tore his ACL, but typically that timeline is from 9, or if you take blood, you need 9 months to a year. Well, a lot of times that comes up to the duration of, is the guy like returning or like that's when he physically is able to return. But if the player's not ready to play, it could be a whole lot longer. For them, they don't know how long it's going to be because Joel is not going to come back until he knows. Now, if the doctor isn't their doctor, and Joel, if they're waiting for Joel to give them information, then they have no clue of what's going on, because he could have a setback. He could do this, that. Now, what they're saying is everything is positive. To me, he's just talking. Because if everything is positive, and this guy had surgery during the season, which you guys are saying they just went in there and scoped it out, and everybody thought everything was going to be cool and fine, then if everything is positive and headed the right direction, Joel should be on the court right about now. Joel should be a definite that he's going to play and going to play in training camp and be there with the team. So to me, it's just, you're just talking now, trying not to get the fans in a frenzy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And Joel, I think you're right to your point earlier. And Joel Embiid in a frenzy. Like, oh, yeah, we expect everything's fine. We expect him to be ready. Like, to double down on that specific thing from Daryl Morey, I think that might put Joel Embiid in a bad spot as well.
Yes and no, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I mean, and the reason why I'm saying that it could like when they're saying it, because that ultimately, like if you realize it, so this is what would have put Joel Embiid. Throw that thing back up real quick, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, we think whether he's ready for training camp or not. I think there's maybe a lot more decisions than that to make before we get there. When he came out and said that, he's always given a wiggle room out. Like, yes, all the news was positive, but then when he came back with the second sentence, to me, it was kind of like, okay, he's great, and Joel says he's great, but then they're going to say, but the doctor didn't clear him, right? They can always go with that. You know what I mean? But our main thing is that he's healthy and that he's going to play at a dominant level. Nick Nurse doesn't really know what's going on, or he may have an idea, but he's not totally going to share it through the media. And I'm going to be honest with you, this has to be frustrating for Nurse. It has to be.
Oh, absolutely. And you could tell that was the case last year. You could tell that was in training camp. I'm watching the press conference and all that stuff with Nick Nurse. He's getting asked about Joel Embiid and all that. And then finally, it was like Nick Nurse was just done talking about it. Next thing you know, you got Joel Embiid taking the stand, and he's being asked about not starting the season. Then he finally gets asked the question about playing in the Olympics but not being ready for the season, and he plays the martyr card immediately about all I've done for this city and all that stuff. So, yeah, you could definitely see through the season, even in training camp, that Nick Nurse was getting frustrated with everything. The reason I say that it could be a negative for Nick Nurse and be interpreted in a negative way by Joel Embiid is if I'm Nick Nurse and I say, yeah, we fully expect him to be ready, he's going to be at training camp, and then he's not, then Joel Embiid looks like the guy that, again, didn't take his offseason regimen seriously. He's not in shape. He didn't do rehab, whatever. Then he comes off looking bad. Why are you not ready when the team expected you to be ready?
Exactly. And that's why, basically, like if you, here's the thing. If we were like in a class where they asked you to dissect things, basically that second paragraph, people were like, okay, that's the out. Like he's basically saying the guy is able to go, but like all the news is positive, right? But whether he's ready for training camp or not, I think there's maybe a lot more decisions to this and that. Now, beforehand, let's think about this, Mark. And I'm not trying to bring up, stuff from the past, but I'm about to bring up stuff from the past.
Go for it.
Before, what they were saying was all the doctors were telling them the decision to be made that he didn't need surgery again and that he could play through it. And then what happened? He made the decision to have the surgery a little bit later. Oh, no. Then they came back and said, oh, after consultation, we decided to have surgery. But he didn't tell them. He told the ownership group, and who in turn told Daryl Morey and told Nick Nurse. So, yeah, they're in the dark. They're in the dark if things haven't changed.
And I know that there's been a lot of surgeries, so I don't want to confuse them. Is that the most recent surgery that happened or the surgery before the Olympics?
No, that was the most recent one. That was the one during the season. Yeah, that was the most recent one. Yeah, and like this whole thing is crazy. Like, did you know? Like, someone posted that the Sixers, and it was recent. Someone posted that the Sixers are looking. Well, Howard Blitzer is looking for a soft tissue therapist. So I saw this on Instagram yesterday, but it's kind of crazy. Like it's kind of like, now I don't know when this post came out, but you're thinking about it's like, yo, the timing is kind of crazy. Like you would have thought that this was something that someone you was looking for before. Now maybe they had one and the guy left, right? But at the same time, you're looking at it and you're like, whoa, okay. So you got people going on getting like hyped up over it now. Like, oh my God, they're looking for a soft therapist, a soft tissue therapist. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. The last thing I want to ask you on this to wrap up this first segment here, Keith. So we don't think that Nick Nurse knows much. We don't think that Daryl Morey knows much. What have you heard? Like, what are the beat guys saying, or what are the beat writers saying when it comes to Joel Embiid? What have you guys heard about how everything's going, or are they just doing a phenomenal job of keeping everybody in the dark?
I mean, what we heard is Joel Embiid's not coming back until Joel Embiid is ready to come back. He does not want to, honestly, he does not want to rush back. And when he comes back, he's gonna feel, when he's 100% confident and secure in his body, that's when he's going to come back. That's what I heard. Yeah, and he's been saying that for a while. Like, he felt like, even though he was out for a minute, he felt like he rushed back.
I say this every time. All right, good. I do not want Joel Embiid back before Joel Embiid feels like he can come back. And you know what's going to drive me crazy, Keith? And I'm just going to go down this avenue. I love this. Look, this is the resort. This is the last resort. This is where we're at right now with the 76ers team and the fan base. That's where they're at right now. It's that I don't want to see, or at least I think where they're at. I don't want to see Joel Embiid unless he's 100%. And what's going to drive me absolutely crazy is if Joel Embiid plays his first game in late December or something like that, and later on, a month later, he's got to, have load management, or he's got to miss a handful of games. And he says, I didn't come back at 100%. I was really at like 85 and 90, but I wanted to come back for the city and for this team. I'm like, no, this was on your terms, clearly defined on your terms. So I don't want to see you back until the only person to blame. It's not the Sixers. It's not the doctors. It's just Joel Embiid. Joel, this is 100% on your terms. Don't come back until you're 101% ready to fire. That's where I'm at with all this. When we come back, Keith, I think this is dumb, but it's out there, and we get the rest of the schedule later today. The NBA Cup. I know. Contain your excitement. Back after this is Locked On 76ers. Let me tell you about FanDuel. Mark this down right now. You got a pen? Got a piece of paper? Got your cell phone? Whatever it might be? August 26th. You write it down? August 26th. That's when you can start winning yourself some money. Officially on FanDuel. You know what August 26th is? It's Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. That's right. You got a good hunch on the season? Check out FanDuel Futures Day on August 26th. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling for the MVP, whether you're eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown the Super Bowl champion before week 1 even kicks off, this August 26th is your moment with FanDuel. Maybe you're looking at Jalen Hurts take home the MVP for the regular season, Saquon Barkley, MVP for the regular season, whatever it might be. Coach of the year, Nick Sirianni. You can also parlay for your division winner, dark horses as well. You can crown your champion in the month of August. Eagles win the Super Bowl. Bet on it now with the futures, because Futures Day is one day and one day only at FanDuel. Visit the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to plan your futures bets now. Futures Day, one day and one day only on FanDuel. Play your game. Keith, if I have an overall frustration, you're a sports fan growing up, right? You appreciate the other sports and all that. I don't know if there's ever a time where athletes have been paid more to do less. Starting pitchers, oh God, don't whatever you do, don't go beyond 6 innings. Oh, holy Lord, don't go. Oh, you got to be worried about up downs now. You can't have an up down, Keith. Have you heard of this? Can't sit down and get back up so many times. Can't go between innings so many times. Imagine telling Nolan Ryan, you can't have an up down. All right. What happened? Oh, he sat down. Then what happened? He got back up and then his arms fell off. Load management in NBA paid more to do less. The NBA Cup is supposed to be another incentive for players to do what they used to do, which is play games at 100% all the time. That's why I hate the NBA Cup. I don't like the colors of the courts. I think that's dumb. I think it's an attempt at made-for-TV drama that is a failure. This is what the Sixers have coming up, and this is the good news of this, Keith. Some dates that the NBA announced, the Sixers are actually on the schedule, but then again, everybody is. Sixers will open it up against the Boston Celtics on October 31st. That game's going to be on Prime, and then they're going to be back at it on Tuesday, November 25th. That game's going to be on NBC Peacock at 8 o'clock against the Orlando Magic. So we finally have more games on the schedule here for the Sixers and the NBA Cup. Keith, how excited are you?
I'm not excited at all. I mean, it's crazy. Like when the NBA Cup first came out, it was like the intriguing, like you wanted to see what it was about. But then you tend to look at it and you say, like, the teams that tend to go far and win, like, normally don't do anything in the playoffs. Now, again, I do know that not the Orlando Magic, the Indiana Pacers, they went to the championship 2 years ago, and then they went to the NBA championship last year. I'm talking about the championship for the NBA Cup. But for the most part, it's like, it is what it is, man. And look, it's funny because if you think about it, this is another reason why I think it's BS, because if you're a team like the 76ers, who 2 years ago had a team that was supposed to be a contender, right? And they did not make it to the knockout round. So since they didn't make it to the knockout round, they played 2 Bobo squads. Like, their 2 makeup games were against, like, one was against Washington, the other one is against Atlanta. Atlanta had some struggles. I believe they were tanking at the time. And you're like saying to yourself, life is good. Like, for the 76ers, it should help you out. Like, these are 2 wins. So I think there's a lot of things that they have to do with it. And to me, I just feel like this whole thing is gimmick basketball. Like,
yes.
It's gimmick, dude. Like, you're trying, like, the NBA is supposed to be the greatest league in the world. So why are we trying to implement stuff that they do over in your league? And, they're saying people aren't watching it. Well, the reason why they're not watching is because you're allowing players to dictate a lot of other things that has nothing to do with basketball. That's what's turning the fan off. Not these gimmick games are going to bring people back.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
I agree. I think a good way to sum it up is that you're highlighting a mistake or you're highlighting a blemish is what you're doing. It's like Adam Silver sitting there with the league and be like, all right, guys, please play basketball. No. All right. Well, then we're going to have punishments for teams that are resting players that are healthy. Well, we're still going to rest and we're going to, talk about another injury. I stubbed my toe, whatever, I can't play. All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys a mid-season tournament called the NBA Cup. Will you please play? No? Damn it. What if there's more money? Oh, okay, now I have my interest. Can you guys give a damn about the All-Star game for more than the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter? No? All right, let me incentivize that too. You're begging these guys to do what they're supposed to, A, love to do, and B, paid well to do, and the viewer doesn't want to watch it. They don't want to watch you highlight the blemish that is these players, these players not doing something that they're supposed to love to do and paid handsomely for at the same time. I absolutely hate everything behind it. Hey, I know what he's trying to do, Adam Silver. He's not just leaving well enough alone, I guess. He's trying, but it is an epic fail. And they're going to keep going with it because it's Adam Silver's baby.
I mean, the whole NBA, the way it just changed, man. Like, think about it. Like, back in the day, the home team wore traditional white jerseys. Then the road team had on a dark, variation of it. I mean, they had some iconic jerseys. Now, every year, they got the Nike thing where they got the different jerseys. And I get it. Fans in Philly are excited about the black jerseys coming back. Yes. I get all that. I get that. But, man, some of these other unis that people have been wearing have been horrendous. They're just ugly. Baseball now have alternate jerseys too, unis, but dude, like, it's like the NBA is turning into the gimmick league.
Yeah.
A gimmick league. It's crazy.
Don't get me started on the Phillies. Don't get me started on the Phillies. The Phillies alternate jersey, the City Connects, whatever. It looks like a scrimmage game broke out at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's just, it ain't cool, man. It ain't cool. I thought when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. And now I see him playing it. I'm like, no, I'm over it. Let's get a couple of comments in here right now. Wait, George Paul getting roasted on the internet? You mean Paul George getting roasted on the internet? Don't know why.
I knew what you meant, Kyle. We good.
Oh, what did I miss?
No. I'm just I'm the guy, Kyle Wright. He's the one, yeah. That's the guy. Right. Yeah, him. Yeah. Yeah.
What did I miss on George Paul?
Nah, nothing. I think he just had it mixed up. That's all.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anthony Washington saying management and Embiid can't get on the same page. I think we all agree on that one.
True.
Richard Holloway, what's going on, man? Do you guys think Joel Embiid will play more than 40 games? When will the drama ever stop for the Sixers? Well, no time soon. That drama is just going to be the most consistent thing with the Sixers, really, since the process started, was drama.
That's a great question, though. Like, let me answer that real quick. I mean, because that's a great question, because when you look at Kawhi Leonard last year, he didn't play into his first game until January the 4th, right? So he missed the first 34 games, right? And I feel like that could be something that players like Embiid and could do. Like, Kawhi only played in 37 games last year. He played at a high level when he came back. So I would not be surprised if Joel Embiid played in fewer than 40 games. I mean, I just would not, or at least fewer than 42 or 40, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Kawhi only played in 37 and played at an extremely high level.
I'm with I am going to be surprised, Keith, if we see Joel Embiid before January 1st. I am going to be surprised at that, which, that also means even more drama. Whoopee. But I agree with you in terms of, we said a while back on one of these shows, Keith, we talked about, like a best case scenario being 50 games, an overly optimistic being 55 games type of thing. But I think right around that 40 game mark is pretty accurate when it comes to Joel Embiid. Matum, what's going on? Matum, hello, just says depressing. I agree. Lava Entertainment, hello. What do you guys think Sixers record will be this season?
That's the toughest question to answer because we don't even know who's playing. That's the crazy part about it,
I hate doing this. 41. They win 41 games. And even that's overly optimistic in my mind. They flirt with a play into another Adam Silver. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at there. When we come back, no, Lava's just laughing at that. All right, when we come back, guys, I feel like we need to make this announcement every single show, Keith. There's no tanking this year. There is no first-round pick. There is no lottery. Tell everyone, please, right now when you're done watching the show, or even now, text a friend. Just say, hey, hope you're having a great day. Just a reminder, Sixers have no first-round picks, and there's no tanking. Just public service announcements. Let's just do that. But thank you very much. All right, when we come back, our latest edition of Grimes Watch after this quick blink of a break on Locked On 76ers. Oh, hey, Keith. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm reading this right now. I'm trying to relive when Grimes was on the team when he was killing it.
You got your game notes in front of you?
Yeah, I got the game notes. 2024-25 game notes.
The season that was. The season that was. Hey, we've been doing the show now for 28 minutes. Was Quentin Grimes signed? You get any notifications? You get any text messages? Any bloop bloop? Any messages? Nothing?
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
Nope.
Fascinating.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he said, hey, I'm not going to sign to after training camp. It's like, nah, I'm just joking. I won't have to participate in training camp.
Just sit it out. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, do a sit out.
All right. One last thing then for the show then. I mentioned earlier that there were two questions about the 76ers that that Nick Nurse was asked about. One was Joel Embiid. For anyone that might be just joining the live show now, I'll just throw it up one more time just so you see it. For those listening later and watching later on the podcast, you guys already know the deal. But this is what Nick Nurse said in an interview in England during Basketball Without Borders. All the news is positive. I know he's working very, very hard, and I think things look good. Whether he's ready for training camp or not, I think that there's maybe a lot more decisions than that to make before we even get there. But our main thing is that he's healthy to play and play at his best capabilities because he's awesome, no doubt about that. Well, the other question that he was asked was just about the struggles of last year, and it's nothing we don't already know. What he went to immediately was the injuries, how much of a struggle it was last season. And they had 40 different players throughout the season, a record number of starting lineups throughout the season, and they were unable to build any semblance of continuity throughout the year. That's something, Keith, I know you knew, I knew, we all knew, but highlighted by the head coach when he was asked about what hit the fan last year. All right, we got another edition of Locked On 76ers coming up tomorrow. We look forward to that on a Friday edition. Make sure you guys are reading everything by Keith Pompey on Inquirer.com. We got the schedule release. Keith, I guess we'll go through all 82 games like a football schedule and do wins and losses. That'll be fun. And we'll break it down when it comes to your 76ers even further. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. He's Keith Pompey. I'm Marc Farzetta. Like and subscribe on Locked On 76ers. I'll be back with you guys today. You Eagles fans at noon for Locked On Eagles Squad podcast, so don't miss that. Also tonight, Locked On Phillies postcast as they open up a 4-game series in D.C. with the Nationals. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.